Great to be with you on this Wednesday, and we are looking today at a subject that comes out of some of our former discussions. We've talked about how important it is to have confidence, to have hope, to know that God is working and that God is changing you and that your life is not going to fall apart, but God is going to take care of you and God has great things for you. We've talked a lot about that. We've also talked about the importance of faith, truly trusting in God's word, living according to those principles rather than our emotions and our feelings. Well, I want to put all that together from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. As you know, that's the great love chapter, the chapter that puts real, genuine Christianity to the forefront, the fact that genuine maturity always evidences itself in selfless love. And throughout this entire chapter, we find all the different aspects of charity or agape love, selfless, willful love, where you put someone else first. And it's a very challenging set of principles. In fact, I pray through this every week, 1 Corinthians 13, because it just helps me look at every angle of what love is and to allow it to expose any selfishness that might be there. The last verse, though, is what I want us to look at here today. Verse 13, and now abideth faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. Obviously, the word there in the King James is charity. Wonderful word. But the word love is a good translation of that. And so the greatest of these is agape love. Now, I want us to see that there is clearly a progression here. I often speak about the progression in Romans chapter 5, from faith to love. You have faith, tribulation, patience, experience, hope, and then love. In Hebrews chapter 10, you have the same progression of faith, hope, or confident expectation, and love. And so here we have it, and we know it's a progression because it says, but the greatest of these is charity, is love. So obviously, faith is as important as you're going to get. Without faith, we cannot please God. Without faith, you cannot be saved. Hope, confident expectation, is the evidence of faith, so that is very important. So this doesn't mean that these are of any lesser importance. It means that there's a progression from faith to love. And so what I want to encourage you today is that as you walk by faith, as you make decisions to believe God's word and then step out by dependence upon Him to obey His word, you will begin to grow more and more confident that God works, because you're going to experience His deliverance. You're going to experience His power. He's going to become more and more real to you if you're truly abiding in Him. And that will then give you the confidence to say no to self and to give of yourself more and more with the love of Christ. That's why it's the greatest. It comes out of consistent faith that leads to consistent hope and then glorious, victorious love. The most encouraging thing I can tell you today to do is to love and not be selfish. Every discouragement, every pressure, every sadness, every bit of discouragement comes because we're focused on self. But when we're free of self, because we're walking by faith and the Spirit of God is working, and we're loving and we're investing ourselves by the power of God in others, life becomes so real and so precious. And you don't have those tendencies of focusing on self. It really is liberation. So the greatest of these is love. So let's, on this Wednesday, dedicate ourselves to saying no to ourselves. Let's believe God. Let's be confident in what God's going to do. And let's invest ourselves in someone else's life by His direction. And I promise you, it will be a great day. May God bless you here on this Wednesday.